You may know her from season 1 of Drag Race, or performing in lots and lots of drag venues all around the world. It's the queen with the big personality and the even bigger bust size. It's Maxi Shield. Hi, Maxi. Welcome to
And
Gaywaves.
you forgot my bum as well. I got a big
Oh,
bum too.
we love a big bum. There's Maxi, I want to ask you so many things. You're everywhere at the moment. But let's go back. I mean, on Drag Race, you said that your hometown was Ballina. Did you grow
I
up?
was born in Ballina.
Yeah.
This is the Reddit when was like it was people were crazy. They were, no, she's not. She's lying. So I was born in Ballina, but then we moved up to Central Queensland for a portion of my primary school.
All right.
And then we moved down to Nowra for my high school. So we were very much a free flowing family. Yeah, so we were up and down, up and down. So a bit of everywhere. But I was born in Ballina. So
Mm.
yeah, that's why I was inspired by the big prawn, if anyone's been through Ballina.
Oh yes, definitely. I love the big prawn. Like when you drive up to Queensland, it's like you always stop at the big prawn. The place to stop. And oh well, we better talk about that show. We'll get that out of the way. Your time on Drag Race. Now, how did you get involved in Drag Race? Were you invited onto the show?
Well, they yeah. So I was on one of the lists. So I was a list of five that the American producers wanted. We're still trying to work out the list. I think it
Mm.
was Kita, myself, Karen, Art, and Hannah. And Hannah ended up going into season two, of course. But
Yeah,
yeah, in saying that, we were invited to jump through a million hurdles.
I see.
Um, lots of one-on-one Zooms, and so it wasn't like, you're in, there's your golden ticket. We still
Mm.
had to jump through a lot of hoops, which was crazy. But I know Australian fans, especially the world fans, as soon as there was a rumor of Drag Race, they like to write lists, which
Yeah.
is great for mental health. Um, especially, well, you know what? Not me. So I was say I don't give a rat's ass. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was a lot of the lists. I don't think I was on one.
Oh,
So when I
really?
got this call or this message out of the blue, it was really quite surprising. I was like, oh, I, of course, yeah,
Mm.
you'd be silly not to. But at the same time, it was like, oh my God, I hadn't even, wasn't even on my radar. I
Mm.
was, creating shows and doing shows in Sydney. So I hadn't even thought of, hold on, there's a big world out there.
Was there any hesitation on going on the show? Because I know that the contract can be really daunting and there's a lot of stuff in that. Was there any hesitation on doing it, or you? No, we're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely not. There was no hesitation. The whole thing, my partner and I sort of chat, we chat about everything. That was the one thing that I found really difficult, not having him, just to be stupid with each other. And we sort of came to the conclusion that Bianca Del Rio signed the contract.
Yeah,
No, look at her. So
yeah,
if she signed the contract and she's got out of it, and survived, then yeah, shut up, sign the contract and go forward.
and you have to look at the careers of the girls that have been on Drag Race. They've just taken off. And well,
Yeah.
on
And it
that,
was, oh, sorry.
sorry, I was going to say on that. How has your life changed after Drag Race?
Well, it was funny when you go on the show. Everyone's Mama Roo, Mama Roo, and I was like, I've got a mother, I've got a mother. Come on,
Mm-hmm.
I've got a real mother. I don't know if she's my mother, and it because we came out, the show aired, then we went back into lockdown,
Mm-hmm.
and quite a few times I was like, what the bloody hell have I done? I've got so much debt, I don't know if I'm going to work again. What's going on? And then last year things changed, and there was that realization that, oh my God, maybe RuPaul is my mother. Because she's literally just the thing with Drag Race is it doesn't open doors. It provides you with more doors, but you still have to knock. And RuPaul has literally provided me with a lot of doors, which is just so overwhelming. And for a drag queen in America to be opening doors for drag queens in Australia, Spain, across the world, she's pretty amazing, pretty incredible.
Yeah, exactly. Now, would you do it again? Would you go
Yes.
back? Yes. So a versus the world or a All Stars, you'll be in there.
Absolutely. You know, we went over in COVID. So,
Mm,
Aussie girls, we were in quarantine for 14 days.
mm.
And then we had to do another 5 days quarantine for some sort of mess up. Raven got COVID or something. I don't know.
Wow.
Um, so, we were literally in isolation. We had our devices, but, you know, that we were still by ourselves in a room for 19 days. So, you know, to go back and actually know how the machine works, so everything wasn't just a, oh my God
Mm.
moment, would be just incredible. So, fingers crossed, you just never know when you might get the call.
Yeah, exactly. And now you would definitely know overnight success. You've been working in Sydney bars for a long time. I mean, everyone knows Maxi Shield from Sydney. If you're in Sydney and you've been to a gay bar, you know Maxi Shield.
Yeah, this year I celebrated 26 years.
Wow, that's amazing. And
Yes, if it was a child, it'd be just out of uni.
now I saw you at Ginger's a little while ago with Coco, I think it was. Um, Amazing show. So you're doing any drag shows at the moment?
Well, I'm sort of bits and pieces
Hmm.
still at the Oxford, which is
Yeah.
great. I do a show with the incredible Jackson Hyde. It's our Fatty and Skinny show.
Lovely.
Um, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. I said, come on, look at us. He's size two, if that, and I'm size two, two, two.
Now, since Drag Race, obviously, you've been all around the world. You've been to Brazil. You've been everywhere. One thing I do love is on your Instagram. I've been watching your food reviews. You love a good food review. What's the strangest thing? Because you eat some strange things. What's the strangest thing you've ever eaten on your tour?
Oh, I'm not sure. I love trying different things,
Mm.
and when I was in America for DragCon, I got to work with Jules Long Beach and Delta Work,
Oh, lovely.
and Jules brought in a whole heap of candy, American candy. So she brought in this great big bag of candy for me, and I literally ate through the whole lot of that. And there was some sort of very spicy hot candy that I'm not really quite sure
Mm.
where that came from, and it really did burn, twice, which was crazy, crazy. Yeah, but that was lots of fun, especially working with those girls as well. Like Delta Work, oh my
Yeah,
God, incredible.
yeah. And well, speaking of that, I mean, has there been anyone that you've met like Delta that you've just fangirled out on? I mean, I assume that most of the time you're very composed, but is there that one queen that's or one person that you've met that you just like, oh my god?
I think I've been lucky enough to have worked with a lot of girls
Mm.
through In the Dark, so I got to host quite a lot of girls before I'd been on the show. Yeah, Delta, incredible, like Emmy award winner. Sonique, Kylie
Mm.
Sonique, ran over to me and was like, Maxi, I can't wait to. And all my friends were like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
Kylie's come over and said hello to you. She wants to say hello to you. And I was like, I know, I'm like having a heart attack. And she was excited to see me, which was incredible. But, and even, oh, goodness, there's so many. You know what?
Mm.
It's, although we need to make sure that everyone knows it's a TV show.
Mm.
It's a TV show. People sometimes don't act like that. Sometimes they do. Once they're off the show, you really need to make judgments about character, because you might say one thing and then the color and movement of TV makes it sound a different way. And over going to DragCon quite a few times, how accepting and loving every other girl is. I don't think I've met one international girl that has been a bitch or a absolute asshole. They've
Mm.
all been lovely. They've all come over and given me a big hug, and we've all had a big chat, and yeah, they've all been incredible.
Yeah, I think I was at a show at the Roundhouse. I can't. I've been to a few, so I can't remember which one. But you were in the audience and they shouted you out. I think it might have been the UK one with
Oh yeah, the
Lawrence
five girl.
Candy. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that was yeah. They must have a. They obviously have a connection with you.
yeah, yeah, and it's what, everyone's been through the trauma together.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we've all survived, and yeah, the UK girls are absolutely incredible. Um, Yeah, I was in UK for DragCon in January,
Yeah,
and the difference between that and the American DragCon is there's a lot more of the franchise. Our families from other families. You know, when Dad has two families, the
yeah.
secret family. Yeah, a lot of the secret families got to hang out, and we would. It was just hilarious, and it was just so much fun.
What's the best queen to party with?
Well,
Who?
probably not me, um,
Oh,
because I don't drink.
ah,
I don't drink or party
same.
anymore. I did
Yeah.
that in the '90s. I'm an old girl now. I do. You know who is lots and lots of fun, and it's not to say that any of the
Mm,
international girls aren't. And they're sort of a state of Australia, the
mm.
Kiwi girls. Um, Anita and Kidda,
Yeah.
we love to go to buffets together.
One of my
And
favourite things. Yeah.
exactly. It's just so much fun. And we've been to buffets sort of in Australia. Anita and I went to one in the UK,
Mm.
and yeah, it was just, they're great fun to go to buffets and have fun with.
Yeah, and of course, talking about drag cons, you're coming up to doing a drag expo in Sydney. I believe it's the first drag expo that's been in Sydney. Um,
Yeah.
again, there's lots of international queens coming out. Um, if we came to Drag Expo in Sydney, what do we expect from a Shields stall or performance at DragCon at
Oh, it's
Drag
good. You
Expo?
know what? I literally, because DragCon's on the weekend in LA the weekend before.
Oh wow!
So I'll fly in on the Thursday, and then Drag Expo is literally that weekend. So, but we did it last year. Vanity and I.
Yeah.
Vanity and I have been sisters since the start. We just did our Silver Jubilee tour, and when we first asked by in the dark, we were like, "Should we do a booth together?"
Mm.
We're like, "Yes, come on!" So we did a booth together in Melbourne last year. And it was just such a success. We had a lounge,
Hmm.
we had timeouts, and it was so much fun that we've decided to do it again this year. So yeah, so it'll be the Maxi and Vanity booth again.
Mm.
It'll be I've let her have creative color control because she's the Barbie queen from New Orleans.
Yeah.
So it's all pink again.
Of course.
We've got a little lounge, we've got tables, it's just so much fun. We do say get in early. This year we're going to have a lot more merch. So I think we're going to have
Mm.
fans and pins and all sorts of stuff to sell. So I'm dabbling into my bloody glorious fans and pins, and my diet starts Monday. Um, fans and pins.
Why? Why die?
Hey, you don't have, hey, it doesn't say any what type of Monday.
Yeah, fair enough. It might be Monday in 20 years. Who knows?
Exactly.
Now, obviously, you've done so much stuff. One of the things you've done is you made a movie and headlined the movie as well.
That was over at Queer Screen. I was
Yeah.
approached by James Dimitri, who we actually did a photo shoot with Team 8, the underwear. And we sort of had, we clicked. You know when
Yeah.
someone's weird like you, and
Yep.
and we just had fun, and he's just this incredible artist. And he sort of said, "Oh, look, I've got this idea of a movie. Would you want to be in it?" I'm really inspired by telenovelas, but also Divine. And as soon as he said Divine, I was like, okay,
Mm.
right, this is my tribe. So he basically created a movie where I was just like a divine character. I was just a woman. I
Mm.
was the best friend of a socialite magnate who ends up being killed,
Oh,
and I'm having an affair with her husband. Uh,
of course. Of course.
they were saying, what was it? I said, it's a comedy, it's a drama, and I have sex in a shower, so it's a horror. Um, but yeah, it was lots and lots of fun. It was great to have something at the Queer Film Festival that was silly.
Hmm.
I find that sometimes a lot of our community movies are very heavy, which
Hmm.
we need. Of course, we definitely need. But it was nice to have just a giggle and just, oh my God, this drag queen is absolutely stupid.
Yeah, and if you
Right.
can catch it, it's called Winner Takes It All.
Yeah, the winner takes it
The
all.
Winner Takes It All. So look out for it. Um, now, obviously, as I said, you're doing so much stuff. You're diversifying into comedy as well. Well, you've always done comedy on stage, though. But this is a different type of comedy. It's a comedy show.
It's so terrifying when it's labeled comedy, isn't it?
Yeah, and
Like
it's
when you're told to get up there and talk for 20 minutes and you have them laughing, you're like, yeah, right, that's fine. That's not comedy. That's just me having a chat.
mm.
But then you label it's comedy, and then like, oh, shit, now I have to be funny.
And I think
um,
Spanky Jackson learned that at the comedy gala for Mardi Gras. I saw that. But so it's called The Whole Kit and Caboodle. What can we expect from The Whole Kit and Caboodle?
whole tit and caboodle.
Whole tit and... I had it written down wrong, sorry. Whole tit and caboodle. Well, that
Oh,
makes sense.
surely you can see that. Come on.
Well, yeah, it makes sense.
Well, I just want to take stories of my life. One thing that worked really well when Vanity and I did our 25th Jubilee was old photos, a slideshow. I'm almost 50. I love a slideshow, and it just gives you something to, I think I'm going to do a fabulous section which is called Maxi and Sex, and it's going to be pictures of me when I've been propositioned by gentlemen. So I was propositioned dressed as a penguin.
Okay.
And tell the stories about that. Penetration and I were propositioned as clowns, and we had hula hoops in our stomachs, like.
Okay, I suppose everyone has their kink, don't they?
Exactly. So I've got lots and lots of stories. I found it actually hard to corral them into just small parts because
Yeah.
there's just over 26 years, and I was lucky. I started before, not internet, but before phones and video, and some of the dialogue that I had with legends like Monique Kelly from Les Girls, and all these incredible performers. I've got so many stories that putting it down to an hour has been the most difficult thing ever. So I'm touching on a bits and pieces, touching on touring with Madonna. Definitely Drag Race. You have to talk about Drag Race because that's what everyone wants to hear about.
Yeah.
And yeah, bits and pieces. So I think it's going to be fun. It's at the Fuse Box at the Factory Theatre. So yes, it's going to be terrifying, but I think it's time in my career to jump outside the comfort zone and do some crazy stuff.
That's great. I'll tell all people all the details in a second. But you just touched on it then. You've been in the drag industry for 26 years. How has that, especially in Sydney, how's that changed over 26 years? I must have changed dramatically with Drag Race coming through and stuff like that.
It's crazy because I started, and I'm not gonna say lucky, but maybe I was privileged enough to start at the tail end of a community that was still very together, in that we went to candlelight vigils, we had red ribbon days, all that sort of stuff that pushed the community together. I think I performed at Ward 17, all that HIV and AIDS, pulled the community together because we had to survive. Then that sort of changed, and we had the internet, and we had technology, and then I sort of got to see the community come back together with the plebiscite and marriage equality. So it's been up and down, but I think the one thing with Australian drag, which I tried to sort of convey on Drag Race, was that we do have a real mateship. There is that stereotypical we're bitchy queens, oh, blah, 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 blah. And you find a lot of that's just online. And, that can be anyone. It really can just be someone that's bored, and a lot of time it is. But when push comes to shove, we do band together very quickly as a sisterhood. And, I tried to convey that there's sort of the mateship and the sisterhood in drag, which still is, which is amazing. And you know what? I love when the old girls step out, the girls that I got to see at the Albury and, the Exchange Hotel and the Midnight Shift. And they're still very much matriarchs of my community. the drag world, and yeah, it's really important. So it's totally changed. But one thing that I always do say is that
Mm,
sometimes you get the Oxford Street's dead, the community's dead. I always say to them, no, it's not,
mm,
because when I went into the Albury Hotel when I was, 18, I saw an incredible show.
mm-hmm.
You know, there was shitty lighting, the makeup was dreadful, probably, everything. But there's someone having that exact same experience now at 18. You
Mm.
can't say that someone's experience is better than the other just because of generations. So, we have to embrace change, and we have to, support the young kids that are coming through, because, imagine being 18 and gay now.
Yeah.
It'd be horrible. It would be so much stress for the poor kids that, yeah, they need as much support as they can get.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine now, but you've definitely taken me back to the Albury, and I used to love going to the Albury and like the Imperial and all those places, and it's definitely changed. I mean, it seems like it's more polished these days, and I think that might be from Drag Race. Do you think there's more pressure on the drag queens these days to be polished?
Um, well, oh. See, I think back then they were polished because, I said before, I worked with Monique Kelly,
Yeah.
and, she Lay Girls
Oh,
had a level of polish that were like, she would sit beside the stage and say, gloves got to rip, nah, you're not going on. You
yeah,
know, fishnets, crap, get going.
yeah.
I think there's always been a level of polish, but it's been for the time, for the
Mm,
generation. Now I think the level of polish has been amped so much because everyone's a photographer, everyone's a videographer.
yeah.
At any time someone's filming, and you're getting a picture or a video saying, "Oh, you look great yesterday," and you're like, "Oh my god, what the hell was I thinking?"
Exactly. Now, is there anything? I mean, we know about your comedy show. We know about the Drag Expo. What else is on the cards for Maxi Shield?
I've got something really big happening, which is July, August, September, but I can't say anything yet.
You
And
know what?
I'm gonna have to come back on your show and talk
Ah,
about it.
because I was speaking to Art Simone a week ago, and she said the same thing.
Oh, really?
Is it related?
No,
No.
no, no.
No.
It's not
Oh, okay,
related
good.
at all. And it's in Australia, so it's
Okay.
not Drag Race. Absolutely nothing to do with Drag Race. But
Also, Arts is Drag Race.
no, I don't know.
Sorry, I just tried to
Yeah,
catch you out. Sorry.
I don't know, but I'm going to message her now.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's something to do in Australia, and it's something where I've been pushed out of my comfort zone even more than the comedy festival. So
Wow.
it's going to
Okay.
be pretty incredible. But now you've got me wondering what Art Simone's going to do. So that's
Give her a ring after the interview. You can find out, and then you can come back and tell me. That'd be great.
totally.
Totally. Thank you very much, Maxi. Now, the Drag Expo is on May 19th to 21st at the ICC. Go to dragexpo.com to get your tickets. Your show, The Whole Tit and Caboodle, is on at the Fuse Box at the Factory Theatre. That's the 27th, 29th, and 30th of April. Get your tickets at sydneycomedyfest.com.au. I can't wait to see it. It sounds like it's going to be an amazing show. And thank you for taking time out and coming on and talking to Gaywaves today.
No problem. Thank you for having me. Have a wonderful day. I think it's stopped raining, so we can go and do some washing.
Exactly. Lovely. Lovely to talk to you. Thank you very much, Maxi.
See you later, honey.